Hello everyone, welcome back to another Talk Tuesday.
Going up on the Tuesday.
So I have a confession to make. I love reality TV. I know. I love Teen Mom, Jersey Shore, competition shows, Big Brother. I find it to be a huge way for me to just unwind and relieve stress and relax. Kind of get my brain to just turn off for a second, especially with what I do here on YouTube for a living. Gets a little dark sometimes. Sometimes you just need to watch something kind of brainless and just get your mind off things. And I started watching the Kardashians back in high school. So I have this weird love-hate relationship with them. Sometimes they drive me insane and sometimes I'm fascinated by them. Still watch the show even though I think it kind of sucks now compared to how it used to be, but if you like reality TV too, smash the thumbs up. Clearly I'm not alone though, because so many people watch the Kardashians, know about the Kardashians. The Kardashians, when anything happens with them, they are trending worldwide. So I thought it'd be fun today to talk about Kardashian conspiracies. And there are some interesting ones and I might even believe them. So let's get into it and talk about Kardashian conspiracies. The first conspiracy is that Kim Kardashian was recently replaced on a Calvin Klein shoot with a lookalike. Back in January of this year, Calvin Klein came out with the Our Family campaign, and the campaign starred all 5 of the sisters. And if you look at these pictures, Kim looks, I guess, a little different than normal, especially in this one, I'd say. People are convinced that Kim was replaced with a double during this shoot. And of course, people have theories about who they think replaced her in the shoot. And one of the theories, and this is just purely speculation, is that it was Nicole Scherzinger. Now, Nicole Scherzinger definitely looks like Kim Kardashian. They look similar for sure, but me personally, I can totally tell the difference between them, and I do not think that that is Nicole. However, I don't think it looks completely like Kim. But I wouldn't put it past the Kardashians to use doubles. A lot of celebrities use doubles for all types of things to avoid paparazzi, when they can't make it to certain events, when they're sick. It does happen. However, I think there are other people out there that look more like Kim Kardashian than Nicole Scherzinger does. Now this next theory is a little bit weird, but it's not really a theory or a conspiracy. It's more just like odd. Back in 2013, some of you remember that Kris Jenner was given a show. It's gonna be a talk show called Kris, and it was a really big deal for her. She was super excited about it.
So Kim just had her baby, everybody. Congratulations, by the way. Thank you.
Okay.
No, I don't want to tear her. No, but this is her one huge opportunity.
And Fox TV gave her a 6-week trial to kind of show what she could do, to show the chemistry of the show, give them a better idea if she's a good person to invest into. However, she didn't even make it to the 6-week trial. The show was canceled a month after it aired, and Fox 31 ended up coming out and saying that the reason that they canceled the show is because Kris does not do well in front of cameras. Now this is a little weird considering she films her entire life on camera for a living. They said that Kris was great to work with, you know, behind the scenes, and that they had good guests. Kanye was on the show.
There's a lot of things that people don't know about you that I think that is so interesting for me when I sit and talk to you so often.
As everyone knows, it's sometimes difficult for me to, deal with the press, and it's almost like an agenda, to write me into a certain type of story. And I felt like this was a place where, I could express myself with love, with no agenda.
They said that when the cameras would come on, she would freeze up. She would act super unnatural and awkward, so they just had to cancel it early. So, pretty weird. Unless you've been living under a rock the last couple of years, you probably know that before Kim was married to Kanye West, she was married to Kris Humphries for a very, very short amount of time. In the very beginning of 2011, Kim Kardashian met Kris Humphries, and they started dating. And if you don't know who Kris Humphries is, he's an NBA player. And on May 18th of 2011, just 8 months of dating, I remember I was in high school when this all happened, Kim and Kris got engaged.
This is the biggest moment in my life. I chose her bedroom to ask her to marry her there because to me, our love is simple. And I don't want like all the distractions and everything crazy going around. I just want it to be in her home, quiet and perfect.
On August 20th of 2011, the two got married, and this was a fucking ordeal. This wedding was huge and so over the top. It was like a princess fairy tale. They had the whole thing filmed for a 4-hour special on E! There's 450 guests, which is quite a bit, but you know, the Kardashians, they know a lot of people, I guess. And it was this big, beautiful wedding. Kim looked gorgeous. They get married happily ever after, right? Wrong. Only 72 days after they got married, Kim Kardashian filed for divorce.
October 31st, 2011. A sad, sad day for Americans.
Kim Kardashian has filed for divorce. 72 days of wedded bliss.
It's a real shame since they blew 10 mil on that wedding.
Khloe was out this weekend.
Oh, really? Did she lie and say those rumors about a breakup were wrong?
Don't believe the rumors right about Kim, right?
Don't believe anything. And because the wedding itself made so much money from the TV special and all the publicity and magazine stuff, and it also just gave them a boost up in the media, just people talking about them, people started to suspect that this may have been a publicity stunt. The TV special alone had 4.4 million people tuning in just the night that it aired. It was split into 2 nights, and then the second night, there was another 4 million people who watched. And so people basically think that they weren't really in love. They just loved the idea of how much attention that they would get from the wedding and how much money it would bring in for them. There are even rumors that Kris Humphries was considering not even walking down the aisle, but he did because he knew how much money was in it for him. Jonathan Jackson, who was a good friend of Kim Kardashian's at the time of the wedding, said he wasn't surprised by their breakup at all. In fact, he kind of saw it coming, and he wasn't 100% sure if their romance or their marriage was real at all. He said part of it was a publicity stunt. She knew they were going to make a lot of money from her wedding. It made millions. I do think she fell in love, but once she got to know him and being married to him, she realized that he wasn't her match. People think the relationship was fake because they never settled down together either. Kim and Kris never lived in a house together or attempted to settle down. They just lived in hotel rooms for the first 2 months of their marriage. And maybe this is because Kim knew all along that she didn't want to stay married to him, or realized it maybe too late. I mean, honestly, I think Kim could have gotten like into the whole thing, fallen in love with him, but then realized he wasn't her type after they were already like down the road of having this huge TV special and doing this huge wedding, and she decided to just go ahead and do it. And the crazy thing is not only did the wedding make them a ton of money and get a ton of publicity, but the divorce got probably just as much attention as the wedding did. A lot of people think that Kim purposely tried to make Kris Humphries look like the bad guy. One of the producers of the show was actually forced to testify, and it was alleged that a lot of the scenes on the show are fake. Shocker. He said that a lot of the scenes with Kris Humphries in it were reshot or edited in order to make him look like a bad guy. For example, there was this one time that Kim was super upset with Kris because he threw a party in their hotel room while she was out of town. One of the producers, Russell J., claimed that Kim wasn't out of town. In fact, she was in the hotel room and knew exactly what was happening. So a lot of people think that she kind of orchestrated this scene in order to make Kris look like the bad guy with the divorce coming up. And Jay also admitted that Kim knew that she was gonna get proposed to. Not only that, they did the proposal twice. The one that was on the show that everyone saw was a second attempt because Kim Kardashian didn't like her surprise face. So pretty much everyone knows that Kim Kardashian got famous because of a special adult tape, shall we say, with Ray J back in 2003, which seems like forever ago. And in 2007, this adult tape was made public, and it ended up being the most watched adult video content ever. And sources claim that Kris Jenner was absolutely thrilled when she learned about the title of the tape that was released. Vivid Entertainment released the tape as Kim Kardashian Superstar. Now this was a big deal because back then Kim really wasn't a household name at all. She was barely famous. And it is alleged that Kris Jenner actually got $500,000 for signing a contract to release the tape. The Kardashians had a former nanny, and her name was Pam Behan. And she said, "I believe Kris was grooming her children for their current celebrity status their entire lives. I do believe the success they enjoy now is what she always hoped for and wanted for them and herself." However, Kim did sue Vivid Entertainment, so I'm not sure how much this theory makes sense. Apparently it was settled for $5 million. The next theory, and this is probably the most popular Kardashian conspiracy, that is that Khloe Kardashian is actually the daughter of OJ Simpson. So if you've never heard this before or have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll explain. Kris Jenner married Robert Kardashian in 1978, and shortly after they had Kourtney and Kim in 1979 and 1980. Soon after, Khloe was born in 1984. And if you didn't know, Robert Kardashian was very, very close with OJ Simpson, and he was hugely involved in his trial. Now, I actually will be covering this next week, so buckle up because that's gonna be a good video. It's gonna be a double feature actually. It's gonna be super long. I'm literally skipping Talk Tuesday to edit it next week because it's gonna be a bitch of a video to do. But it's a super interesting story, and yeah, Robert Kardashian was extremely involved in the entire case. So the family often hung out with OJ Simpson, and they were actually family friends. Nicole Brown Simpson, who was married to OJ and was tragically murdered, was really good friends with Kris Jenner. But in 2013, the Kardashians' stepmom, Ellen Pearson, came forward and insisted that Robert confessed that Khloe was not his biological daughter shortly before his death in 2003. This is a pretty bold statement for someone to just like make up. And almost immediately after she said this publicly, Kim and Khloe got really upset and slammed their stepmom for spreading ridiculous stories about them. She followed up saying, "I am simply stating the facts and the truth. Their father's truth." I guess she could be just wanting to get some money out of it, but I don't know, it's a very odd thing to just make up. But check out OJ Simpson's daughter. This is Sydney Simpson, and look how similar she looks to Khloe. And not gonna lie, it's pretty crazy how different Khloe looks from her sisters. I mean, the Kardashians look very similar, all of them, and Khloe has always looked a little different than the rest of them. But not only does Kris deny that Khloe is OJ's daughter, she also denies ever having an affair with him, so no one really knows. But she did admit to having an affair on Robert. But she said it was with a Hollywood animator named Todd Waterman, and that was back in 1989, and she claims that she never had an affair with OJ. Now you'd think that they would just want to put this rumor to rest by having Khloe take a DNA test. I mean, everyone's taking DNA tests, but she refuses to take a DNA test. There was actually an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians where they were talking about this, and the episode went on, and am I really your daughter, Mom?
I'm just a little annoyed right now because I'm getting all these Google alerts about this whole, the paternity of Khloe Kardashian stuff. This story, it's just not going away.
Well, I feel like it's long gone, so.
Okay, well, it's not.
Okay, well, everyone will forget about it sooner than later.
Khloe, why wouldn't we just do a DNA test? Once and for all, we have an answer.
I heard that you were a specialist for DNA processing. Is that correct?
Yeah, with respect to paternity and family relationships.
And they were about to do this DNA test. I remember watching the episode like when it first aired and getting like excited to see the DNA test results at the end. But at the very end of the episode, they're like, oh no, we're not gonna do it. OJ firmly denies that he is the father of Khloe Kardashian. When he found out that Khloe was pregnant, this was his response.
Congratulations in order? For what? We hear Khloe finally announced that she's pregnant.
Well, for Bob, God bless his soul, yeah. But really? I don't know for me. I don't think for me, I have nothing to do with it. Khloe and the girls were all terrific girls when they were growing up, nice and terrific. I think today they're still nice and terrific, except they've kind of added sex appeal to their resume. I'm happy for them. Congratulations to her. But trust me, I have nothing to do with it. I would be proud if I had anything to do with it, but I don't.
So there's really no solid proof for really any of these theories. These are really just for fun. I want to know what you think about these theories. Is there any of them that you believe? Is there any that you definitely don't believe? I want to hear your thoughts, so let me know in the comments below. And that is it for me today, guys. I will talk to you next time.